Right. Well, I already hit. I'm already okay. There we go. All right. So I'm live. Let's make sure that this is all working right. Since it didn't have a thing. Hold on. I know. Just ignore me for the first minute or so. I just start you're watching. Trying to make sure everything. Okay. So yeah, audio's good, video's good. It's a little different than I've never used this one on, so it's a little bit different, but a little different than StreamYard. So bear with me. That's not what I wanted. There we go. Copy link. I'm the only person watching, so it doesn't matter. Feel free to skip ahead to when I start talking about football stuff if you tune me in later. Da, 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 da. Where the crap? Yeah, yeah, yeah. I know. I'm being. Let's see. Da, 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 da. Okay. Um, right. Paste the link. Yeah, this is a great video. All right, but there's nobody watching, so it's okay. If you should like this is different than StreamYard. You're watching later. Later. First 3 minutes. All right, let's just do it. Let's just do this. All right. So it's coming up. It's fantasy football season. It's basically here. It's right on our doorstep. And I'm gonna try and do this regularly this year, guys. I really am. I know in the past we always had where I would just write up, a little thing, post it somewhere, everybody could read it, respond to it, comment on it. Clearly, that's not an option anymore. That's been gone for a few years now, and since Yahoo kept updating and whatnot. But in the meantime, um, I need to get myself. I've decided I need to get myself some more camera time. So that's what I'm going to do right here in preparation for potential other things in the future. Um, which feel free to ask me about. I will tell you as much as I can without telling you too much. So there's that. Well, I don't need that anymore. Anywho, that's not. There we go. So our first thing we're going to talk about is obviously we got to start getting our keepers ready. So the idea here is, well, it's the same idea as it's always been. We are. Here we go. That's the list of all of the players that everybody can keep. I sent texts out to a few people uh, because they don't check the Facebook or they don't have the Facebook, like Roosevelt, Tommy, Phil, whatever. Um, I'm assuming you're all going to respond to me at some point, or maybe I just didn't get stuff done. Maybe it didn't send. Maybe I don't know. New phone problems. Anywho, so we've got on screen right now. We've got the list of all the players that are available for keep. Max has got his players. Roosevelt, Bruce, Benita. We'll go through. If anybody jumps in here wants to see theirs specifically and talk about it, go right ahead. I'll do that. I'll be happy to. The rules haven't changed at all when it comes to selecting your keepers. You can get up to 2. The draft value is also listed there. And some of the players have 1 star or 2 stars, which means if they have 1 star, they've been kept once already. If they have 2 stars, you've kept them twice. You are not allowed to keep them again this would be the second year you would keep them if you kept them, because that's the rule we put in. You can only use a player as a keeper twice in a row, and then they automatically go back into the draft pool the next year. So we've had a few people who have players that fall into that category this year, namely right off the bat. You can tell Roosevelt's got a shorter list than everybody else because obviously every player's value also goes up a draft round from the year before. So that means everybody's first round pick goes into the pool. And then all those players, like Roosevelt, had kept 2 players each of the last 2 years. So both of those players are not eligible for him to keep. So that's why he has a shorter list than everyone else here. But that's just how it works. He had Devon Achans going into the draft for the first time since his rookie year, because he was one of the guys. Roosevelt's had him 3 years in a row now. Not anymore. He could still probably draft him if he wants. Well, that'll depend on a lot of things, who's available and whatnot. Just a quick overview. There's the players that are unplayable on those 4 teams. We'll page down a little bit. I suppose just a little peek there at the bottom. They got cut off in the first one. I probably should change the font size on this. You know what? Let's just do that right now. I hope that doesn't screw everything up. Nope. It does make it a little bit smaller. That's fine. Like I said, it's going to be out here. It's on YouTube. It's on my computer. I have all the lists on there. I also apologize to people I sent text messages to. I was having difficulty figuring out how to get the thing flipped over, but anywho, whatever. That's why you have such weird looking screenshots or pictures from, me taking a picture of my screen last night. So, anywho, here's the next group of teams. Obviously, these more people on some of these lists. I actually think I had a typo on the Bucky Irving. I think he should have 1 star there. Regardless, I'm probably not keeping him for a 7th, but anywho, everything else here looks pretty much right. Yeah. So there's that. So let's see. We'll page down to the last 4 teams. Yep, that fits all on there right now, right there. Tommy, Sean, Donnell, Phil. This is also if starting at the top, where it was Max, Roosevelt, it goes 1, 2, 3, 4 from the standing. So right here at the bottom, we've got 9, 10, 11, 12. This is also the reverse order of how people are going to be picking their characters for how we're doing the draft this year. Usually we have done Smash Brothers in the past. But I really like the WWE 2K5 game, so I decided we're going to use that this year. It also gives me the opportunity to expand the tournament a little bit, and we could talk about that. It's really quite cool. I've been working a lot on it, playing games, simulating games, and whatnot to try and figure out the best way to make that as fun and fair as possible. There are 3 tiers of characters, as you will see. Here we've got a group of males. These are the mid-card males. Yeah, they all just barely fit on there. These are of the characters that I have unlocked in the game, and no doubles. So, because there's 6 John Cena's in the game. So, obviously, I'm not gonna make it so people. I don't want people to have the same characters. That's just my thing. So when somebody gets picked, they're off the list. So, Phil's the first one to pick. He's gonna get to pick all 3 of his characters before the next person. Yeah, big advantage there. So if he wants to pick the highest rated guy on each list, the highest rated girl on the list, he can go right ahead and do it. It's absolutely fine. And so Phil will pick his 3, and then the next guy, which I'm already forgetting the order. I just did this the other day. Donnell's after him, then Sean, then Tommy. We'll go back up and we'll look at the order again. Then Amy, then Chris P, then Chris A, then me, then Benita, then Bruce, then Roosevelt, and Max gets to pick his 3 from whatever's left, um, which is I'm sure he's fine with after he did win last year, which is why he goes to that spot. Let's pull up the top tier guys. Now, obviously, I don't have every single character in the game on here because when I originally wrote it down and kept only like the bottom rung guys out, it was over 120 characters. Like, no, there's a lot of characters in that game. As you can see, we've got everybody from the Ultimate Warrior and Superstar Billy Graham to Drew McIntyre and CM Punk on this list. There's a bunch of guys in the middle earlier, after, on there. It's pretty awesome. But yeah, so I've got them in tiers. Obviously, as you see here on the screen, I've got the higher tier. Did I get to fit everybody on screen? No, still Undertaker down there. That's right. Let's fix this again. Stupid ass. All right. There we go. Now they all fit. It's a little bit smaller though. Yeah. Is that not? Oh, I see. Oh, that's why you don't. That's why. No, that's what I wanted to say. There's the list of the top tier guys. You guys got to stop me from making an ass of myself. Anyway, so each person will get to pick one wrestler off of each of these lists: the mid-tier males, the high-tier males, and the women. The women is, I mean, there's fewer women in the game, so it's a bit more of a spread between their ratings and whatnot, as you'll see here in a moment. But I've got like 89 and up on this list, and it's because um, I want to have options. I don't want to have just like 15 guys on here, and then whoever's last is like, oh, really? I don't even know. Like Max, he'd probably never seen Billy Graham wrestle. He'd probably never seen who else is on here. Dusty Rhodes probably never saw him wrestle. So if those are like those two and like Logan Paul are the last 3, nobody wants those 3. I mean, he doesn't know 2 of them, and who would want Logan Paul? Honestly. So I like that you guys will have options, that we'll all have options. So let's also hop over to, let me fix the font again before I even pull it up so we don't have to go through that mumbo jumbo. And boom, there we have the ladies. I made it a little bit bigger because there was a few characters I wanted on that list. So that's also part of the reason it's, we've got the top, all the 90s all the way up to like Rhea Ripley at 96, but we go all the way down to 83 because I wanted people like Stephanie Faker and Kairi Sane available as characters because I feel like they are underrated in the game. And there was not as big a discrepancy with their performance when I simulated a whole bunch of matches to see if, where it would fall. And plus also, it's like in the previous years when we've done this tournament, it's not just, first place gets the first pick anymore. No, we're not doing it that. Whoever gets first place in this gets to choose their draft slot first. Second gets to choose theirs, third, and so on and so on and so on. So there's more strategy. So you're not just, you want to win. You want your character to win. Because obviously everybody wants there's a lot of people who have a specific place they want to draft. There's some people who like you just want to be like the top number 1 overall pick, and that's fine. There's some people who just want to avoid the middle of the draft, stuff like that. So it's an extra layer of fun on here and whatnot. So, but yeah, there's the women's list. Let's go back to the high tier males because I realized I wasn't sharing that screen before like I meant to. And boom, Galaka. So yeah, mid-tier males, there's all, we got, it's like 82 to 85. So this is the other thing. There's a couple people I wanted in this list and their ratings are so low on the game for some reason or another. It's just goofy I think it's silly. I really do. But so that's why part of the reason I made a 3rd tier. So what we're going to do is I haven't fully decided. I mean, I know I'll either stream it on here once I figure out how to, I've never used YouTube to stream a video game. I've done that on Twitch. I have a Twitch. Yeah, I'll probably just do it there since I'm already comfortable with it. I already know how it works and then, and whatnot. and it's Twitch. It's fine. It's easy enough. Uh, Plus, we all know what Twitch is. If you don't, it's not hard. Mhm. Make a profile and you can go watch people play video games or talk about stuff. Or I've seen some weird stuff on there before. We're not going to get into it. It's off subject, off topic. So yeah, the mid tier guys here, it's the numbers are it's more compact. Like I said, it's 82 to 85, but we have a lot of choices on here. We've got Scott Steiner from 2003. We've got both of the Dudleys. We've got Dirty Dom. We've got Grande Americano, the Chad Gable version, not the Ludwig Kaiser version, if that really matters to you. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, fine, don't pick them. So yeah, there's the other list there. And these are all available on the group page on Facebook. If you don't come here and watch it, that's fine. You don't have to. We're going to go back to the high one again just for fun. Um, you know, Eddie Guerrero, Gunther. I almost had Eddie Guerrero on another list. I almost just took the lower ones because Eddie Guerrero, like there's a version of him in the game that falls at like 79 for rating. So I'm like, oh, that'd be cool. Somebody could have 2 Eddie Guerreros, but no, there's more guys on the list in the mid tier part that I like better. We're gonna go back over to the keeper lists because I'm talking a little bit more about that in case anybody's wants to pop up in the chat, say hi, say something, go for it. I think I have chat on. Well, I had it on the wrong setting. Now it's all right. So now anybody that pops in and wants to leave a message in the chat, go right ahead, do it. It's there. I will respond in turn when if you have questions, whatever. So obviously we have the draft. We have the keepers coming. It will be just like last year, where a week before the draft is when keepers will lock. So you could change your mind any amount of times you want between now and then. It's fine. Obviously things are going to happen over the course of the next month and a half or so. I know the draft will not be Labor Day weekend like we usually do because I am potentially busy for the entire Labor Day weekend. Sunday for sure, I'm busy. We could still do it that day, but at the same time, I don't know how busy I'm going to be on that day. So I figured we'll just push it back. Plus, also Saturday I might be busy, and that depends on a number of things that we'll see what happens. And then Monday, Labor Day is the day that Amy and I go to the fair. So that's definitely not a day for the draft because we'll go to the fair for a few hours. We'll come home and we'll both be physically wrecked from sweating and walking and eating. But it's all worth it because it's the Minnesota State freaking fair. So it's worth the pain and suffering that you have to go through afterwards. But anyway, so I'm thinking the weekend before that is when we'll do it. Maybe if I actually look at a calendar, I can say what day of the week that is. Sorry, like I said, new phone. Bear with me. Where is my freaking calendar? There it is. So yeah. So it looks like it's probably the week. It'll be the week. It'll be the 22nd or the 23rd of August. We could potentially even do it on Monday, but I'm not gonna. You guys all have regular 5 day a week jobs and whatnot. I don't. I work 410, so I don't work on Mondays anymore. Well, I'm going to start. Anywho, off topic again, off subject. That's not important for this. We're talking high school football. So the weekend of August 22nd. So either that 22nd or the 23rd is when I think the draft will be. So that means then either the 15th or the 16th is when keepers will lock. And like I said before, you can have up to 2, or you can just have the 1, or you can keep nobody. It's fine. It's your choice. As I look over the teams here, I see value on everybody's team. Obviously, I see standout options to keep. You look at Bruce's team right away. If he's not, hold on, did I set that up wrong? So somebody said they were watching and sent me a text because it says it's not working. Only views selected by the channel. Oh, that's not what I meant to do. It's Okay, I see what it is. I see what's going on. I don't know if I can change that right now. Uh, who can send live commentary? Oh, that okay. There. Now it should work. So, all right. Shoot a text over to Sean. There. Now it works. I see it. There we go. All right. Cool. So it's working now. All right. So yeah. Now we got to the comments thing working now. So yeah, Sean, I see your text. Anywho, going back to I was talking about Bruce's team, just as an example. I mean, Chase Brown seems like a smash keep, obviously, for a fifth round pick, and it'd only be his second year on your team, first time or your second time keeping him. You kept him last year. You can keep him this year. But then that's it. Do I have these all mixed up? Oh, I know I know, yeah, because it was I had because I thought I had him 2 years. Was it 2 years ago I had him, or last? I have to go back and look, but I'm pretty sure. Obviously, Chase Brown for fifth is a smash. That's absolute keep, in my opinion. But it's his team. He can do what he wants. Maybe he really wants to keep Joe Mixon for 13th again. You never know. Maybe Joe just needed a year off to fully shake off all the dust and get fully healthy and whatnot. I don't know. Yeah, I'm just gonna go over and talk about one player from each team that I think is a smash success. I apologize for that. It's a nice day outside. I wanted to enjoy the outside time and at the same time do this because it needs to get done. I need to be on top of this. I took way too long to get everything started and get everything going. I apologize again. Um, but here we are. So, um, so that was okay. I said Bruce's team. I'll go jump up to Max's team. If I'm looking at the players on his team, he's got AJ Brown for first, Marion Hampton, maybe T. Higgins, RJ Harvey. I think it's Etienne, HN. Yeah, I hate that their names are spelled differently but pronounced the same between Travis HN. HN. Would it be disrespectful if I just said Echan and HN just to help myself? I don't know. Feel free to say something in the chat. Um, so that's probably the keep there. Maybe Tyler Warren for a ninth. Mm. I'd probably do Travis for the eighth. That's what my pick would be. You can make a debate for Watson too, but yeah, that'd be my pick from Roosevelt's team. Probably easier because he's got fewer. Um, if I had to pick one player for him to keep, and I don't get to obviously, but if I if I did get to, he'd be keeping Tampa Bay's defense for an eighth, and I'd laugh. Yep, that's what I think. That's what I think. I'm talking about. Let's see. Well, I'm looking at Roosevelt's team. Lamar, that's too high. Marvin Harrison Jr. too high. Waddle, no. Swift, that's probably about his value. I, that could be worth it. Shuck is an eighth, probably not. Hmm. Gosh, you know what? I know who I would keep if I was Roosevelt. I'd be keeping Ramondre for a tenth. He's way undervalued. Let's drop down to Vanita's team. We'll go there. Kittle for first, absolutely not. Walker for second, that's probably the right call. Metcalf, no. Montgomery, no. Brian Thomas Jr., probably not. Trevor Lawrence, Kyle Pitts, Goff, Monongai, Ridley, Pacheco, Mevis, and the Titans D for any of those for an eighth. Hmm. Honestly, I'd keep the quarterback I like better. Goff's probably not getting taken that high, but if you want him, you gotta keep him. You have the opportunity to take him now. It's an eighth round pick. It's not paying an arm and a leg, but I think you go with the. I would go with the quarterback I like better between Goff and Lawrence. I like Lawrence better. That's the one I would pick. Moving on down. There we go. I can start hearing fireworks going off again. Tis the season. Everybody. Okay, well, she's not going to keep him anyway. So my team. Maybe I just don't even give you guys a hint on my team. I know I've got a few. I mean, I'd be insane to not keep Brock Bowers again. It's the last time I could keep him. Um, I think I would be insane for not keeping him. But at the same time, I still got to go. I mean, I traded for Jameson Williams last year as for a playoff run, and like that's not a bad pick in the fifth for me. It could absolutely be the one. McMillan also for fifth would be great value there. I could keep Puka for a first. If I ended up with like the 12th pick, that might be the way for me to go. Obviously, we'll find out the draft order before. Oh, I will. I'll get you a team, Sean. I'll get you to a team. Don't worry. But obviously, we'll know the draft order before we have to lock in all of our keepers and whatnot. So people will, obviously have that in their pocket because then if you have the opportunity, like for instance, me, if I got the first overall pick, I'm not keeping Puka for a first. I will keep somebody else, and if I really want Puka, I'll take him with the first overall pick. You know, but if I were to get like the 10th, 11th, 12th, I do not believe that Puka would make it to me there. So if I really wanted him, I could keep him and get good value there. But I think for my team, yeah, I if Bowers is my keep. Is going to be one of my keeps for sure. Move over to Chris A's team. London for first, it's a little high. Connor, I think he's going to let Connor go finally. Adams for third is possible. Moore, Kelsey too high. Pittman for an eighth. I think you can get him later, even though I do like him. I was thinking May might be. I mean, that might be a guy I look at too for my team. It's I've got four guys on there that I'm like, "Ooh, gosh, the value is just beautiful on those. Um, but yeah, what else were? Oh yeah, we were still on Chris's team. Mooney, Daniel Jones, Boswell, Javante Williams. Yeah, probably that. If you really wanted to keep your defense, you get to keep the Houston defense for a 12th. That's pretty good. They're a great defense, and they could potentially even add somebody else too to make them a little bit stronger. Kind of like the Vikings defense. It looks like they're getting stronger too. All right, move on to Chris P and his team. I believe I fit it all on the screen there. Just nudge it down a touch just in case. Yep, there we go. Ow. All right. McConkey for a first, no. Kyron for a second, no. Pollard for a fourth, no. Say hi to Amy. So Olave for that might be the keep right there. Olave for a sixth. That might be it. Oh, he did say he's probably that's right because he already said he's probably keeping Troy Franklin, the guy that I traded him in. You only trade last year. Come on, people. This is not acceptable. Me and Chris P were the only people who traded last year. We traded straight up Troy Franklin for Jameson Williams. Come on, folks. You guys can do better. We need to have more trades in this league. Come on. Oh, anywho. Let's see. That's right. Juwan Jennings, that's too high. Juwan Johnson's too high. Theo's too high. Kicker, defense. Jordan Love. Honestly, I think, and I don't think he's going to have a great year, but I mean, if you're going to have a part of the Packers offense or their passing offense, Love is the guy to have because they still, they don't have Dontavian Wicks anymore. And, so if we got Watson healthy, if Matthew Golden becomes, close to what he was drafted to be, which was an overdrafted first round pick wide receiver who shouldn't have even been there in the first place. They shouldn't have even drafted. Like, if that was a publicity stunt, like, it's the last guy who showed up for the draft. It's like if Green Bay didn't take him there, nobody was taking him in the first round. He probably would have gone home throwing a fit. Um, yeah, I'm not a huge fan of his. He'll be fine in his career, but I don't have a whole lot of stock, a lot of positive. He shouldn't have been a first round pick, plain and simple, in the NFL draft. Matthew Golden should not have been a first round pick. If Watson can stay healthy, he's definitely good. But and then you got Jaden Reed, you got Tucker Kraft. So if you're looking at one piece of that offense or the passing offense that you would focus on, it's Jordan Love, which is why I would probably keep him if I was Chris B for an 11th round pick. Because we do have a 15-round draft, and I'm sure he's going to get a little bit higher than that. Sean says hi, Amy.
Hello, Sean.
He's watching live, which I appreciate. That's good. That's good. Now we get to talk about Amy's team. I think she already actually has kind of unofficially picked her two keepers. I know one of them for sure is she's not going to get away from, and that's Cam Scadaboo. So I'm just going to say it right now. She's keeping Cam Scadaboo for the 10th. Anybody who's hoping to draft him this year ain't happening. And you're going to have to overpay if you were going to try and trade for her after draft happens. But again, he's not. You're not going to get him. I don't. Aside from like Justin Jefferson, I don't think she would trade him. That'd be about it. CTE Cam for sure. Yeah, I know. He is a bull in a china shop, and somebody blindfolded him. He's gonna be explosive whenever he's on the field. But man, I just if he plays in the league more than 6 years, I'll be surprised. Just because he's just gonna beat himself up because of how he runs. He's so powerful. Cam Scadaboo is just so powerful and so good that he's at some point just gonna be like, I can't anymore. I mean, and we've had seen that in the last few years. I think we had a few guys this year, like the Bears, I think their center was like 28, 29. He retired. Luke Kuechly retired when he was 29, and now he's a Hall of Famer, which I appreciate because he deserved to be there. Maybe but yeah, we're gonna see that. It's these guys who they make some money and they want to go on to live healthy, successful, good lives with their family and not have to worry about the degradation that goes with crashing into other 250 to 350-pound men a dozen, 2 dozen, 3 dozen times in a game. I absolutely respect the decision from every single one of those guys. That's like, you know what? I've had 5-6 years in the league. I've made a good bit of money. I'm going to be happy and healthy and secure for the rest of my life, as well as my kids. I'm good. Step away, do your thing. Nothing but respect for you, man. Thanks for playing. Thanks for having a great time. But in the meantime, Cam Scadaboo, yeah, that's probably, get out before the bad injuries. Absolutely, Sean. It's definitely a very rough and tumble and physically demanding game. All right, here we are, the last 4 teams, and we'll talk about them a little bit. I'll start with Tommy's team. Tommy, it's hard to not want to keep Cook for a first. I mean, unless he ends up with like a top 3 pick, then I would. That's at the same, you can keep what you want. I mean, I think Cook is worth a first round pick if you wanted to keep him. Um, Tommy has always kept a Viking every year. So you know what? I would not be surprised if he decided to keep Will Reichert for an 8th and make Amy really crabby. But people like to make Amy crabby. They just don't understand how detrimental that is possibly to your health and well-being. But you do you. Yeah, I think would I keep him for an 8th? No. So that's not going to be my recommendation here. I think what I would do if this was my team, hands down, wouldn't even think any farther about it. It's Kenny Gainwell for an 8th round pick. Yeah, he's over to another team, but it's a team that is established in they want to throw the ball to their running backs. Sorry. They want to throw the ball to their running backs, and Kenny Gainwell is a good receiver. He led the Steelers in targets and receptions last year. Um, Obviously, he had noodle arm Brett Favre throwing, or Brett Favre, might as well noodle arm Aaron Rodgers throwing to him. So there was that, um, which I think also means that we could see some good receiving numbers for the running backs in Pittsburgh again this year, at least until like Aaron Rodgers' arm falls off or he dies, whichever happens first. I don't wish death on him, but I mean, he's yeah, no, yeah. Kyler for an eighth would not be terrible either. He is. I think his ADP has got him around there. He's kind of like that late first tier, early second tier quarterback. So like around 10, 12, 15th rated quarterback. I think someplace I see him at like 17. So um it wouldn't be a bad, it would be, you'd get some decent value for it. And I think he's going to do better than he's getting projected out by a lot of people. A lot of people have him as like, yeah, the 17th quarterback overall in their projections. I think I have him, and I haven't finished all my ratings, my rankings, my projections yet, but I think I have him at 8 or 9 right now. Um, yeah, projected for like 8th or 9th to finish the season, which you obviously be a QB1. You can make your shit well set. You could make your way through the season with him, every week. Um, but yeah, Kenny Gainwell was the first guy I would look at. Let's look at Sean's team. Sean, absolutely. I would just keep Darren Waller, call it a day. There you go. Darren Waller. Sean's keeping Darren Waller. Got it. Next team. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Darren Waller, if he even plays. If you still believe in Rashee Rice, that's a good pick. That's still good value on him there. But you also got to, we have to realize that Rashee Rice is one jaywalking violation from spending another month in jail or more. Which then at that point, I'm sure the NFL would be like, okay, you've done this once already. You're like, Rashee Rice has all the promise in the world to be a great NFL wide receiver, and he's shown that he can be and is a great NFL wide receiver. But the kid can't stay out of trouble. My goodness. It's just a few years ago when he was going into the NFL draft, I wrote an article mentioning him about it, comparing a bunch of I compared 4 different rookies that year to characters in the original Super Smash Bros. Video game. I loved it. I wish the website was still up. I think I do still have a copy of what I wrote. I don't have the fun graphics for it anymore, but I should go and look that up again just to as a throwback. But yeah, it was, Rashee Rice was in there, Anthony Richardson, CJ Stroud, and Funky Monkey. Who was the other one? I can't remember. I had so much fun writing that article, and I got a lot of comments and views on it when I was so good. I'm working on doing another one soon. Hopefully, I can get Tony over Fantasy Sharks. So let me post it there. I think he actually already agreed to it. I just have to write it now. But no, Rashee Rice. God, just stay out of trouble, man. Please, for the love of all things football, just stay out of trouble, man. We want to see you succeed. We want to see you kick butt, but you can't do it if you're getting, arrested and suspended and whatnot. So, um, but I don't think I'd do it for a fifth just because I don't know if he could stay out of trouble. If I was Sean, my pick, as much as I love Chuba Hubbard, gosh, they could absolutely just go Jonathan Brooks if he can stay healthy, and then Chuba Hubbard is nothing. It's Wan'Dale Robinson for Sean is who I would pick. 8th round pick for a guy who is coming in to be a top 2 target. Yeah, I'm not sure either, but Wan'Dale Robinson, probably a top 2 target, maybe just top 3. I like Gunnar Helm a lot too over there, so he could be significantly used. Now Cam Ward, he looked better at the end of last season, and obviously he's going to prioritize Carnell Tate. But rookies don't tend to pop off right away. I mean, you all remember Justin Jefferson's rookie year. He didn't do anything the first 2 weeks. And then it was the 3rd week that he had a couple big catches near the end. And then he went nuclear from there on, obviously rookie of the year. Over Judkins, I mean, yeah, because I worry about who's going to be quarterback there. And I still feel like that's a big deal. And obviously they have a coaching change. Stefanski's not there anymore. He's over in Atlanta. I like Judkins. I do. I like him a lot. I mean, you could obviously, if it's your team, you could keep who you want, Sean. If it was my team, one guy I would be looking at really hard would be Wandale Robinson. He's shown that he can, you know, do it. He can be very useful, very efficient, catch most of the balls. I mean, yeah, the first year that he came in and did it, yeah, he averaged like 7.5 yards of reception. That was fluky. That was just ridiculously low, and it's not going to happen again. I think he was up over 11 this last year, if I remember correctly. So no, absolutely. You can make a case for Judkins. You can make a case for Jacoby Myers if you think he's going to be the guy. You cannot make a case for Alvin Kamara because he might not ever play again. We'll see. I mean, he's up there. He's had a lot of good years and a lot of play and whatnot, but he also stated that he ain't going to play for another team. So if they were to, for some reason, try, like if somebody agreed to trade for him, he's just gonna be like, "Peace out, I'm retired." So, yeah, no, Wandale Robinson's my pick. Move on to Donnell's team. I already know he's going to keep Caleb Williams because the Bears, that's his thing. Old? I don't. Well, are we talking about Donnell or are we talking about? Oh yeah, Kamara. That's what we're talking about. Yeah, I mean, to be honest, Kamara is old for football, but Donnell's older than Kamara. We all are. Well, most of us. Yeah, I'm pretty sure we're all older than all the players we're talking about here. That's fine. Yeah, anyway, Donnell, I mean, we know he's going to keep Caleb Williams for that fourth. But if I was him, I think you got to go with Bashal Tutin. Just feels like the right call. They brought it. They let Travis Etienne go, and they didn't really bring in anybody of note other than Chris Rodriguez or Crod. People like to call him sometimes. But Rodriguez is also, last I heard, was kind of nursing an injury. He's not ready. It's going to be a Bashal Tutin show to start the year, and it's going to be, the Jaguars are going to have a really good offense again. I was on the bandwagon for them last year. It turned out good, especially as the season went on, and Lawrence turned into a freaking monster, the best way possible. But at the same time, did it without throwing to Brian Thomas Jr. so much. Well, he threw to him, just Brian Thomas wouldn't catch the damn ball. So Bashal Tutin would be my pick for Donnell. And finally, we go to Phil. Phil. It's not Aaron Jones. It's not Jalen Hurts. It's not Travion Henderson. It's not Zach Ertz. It's not Devin Neal. I think for me, it's Matthew Stafford. That's a 12th round pick to get the reigning NFL MVP. And they're going all in for one more championship. They don't like using first round picks. I think they've made 2 first round picks since they drafted Jared Goff in the first round. Like, what year was that? 2017 or something? So yeah, somewhere around like 10 years or whatever. Whatever Jared Goff got drafted, that was since then they've used their first round pick. They've used a first round pick twice. Every other time they trade it away. And then they even trade away Jared Verse to bring in. Gosh, that defense is going to be so good. It makes me question wanting to pick Stafford, but I feel like you got to. He's still the Rams are absolutely the number one contenders to win the Super Bowl. Number one pick. I mean, it's just they've got offense, they've got defense, they've got a great coaching group. They want to win one. They're gonna go for one more championship, maybe 2. But yeah, getting McDuffie and yeah, it's hard to not pick them as the Super Bowl favorites, or even maybe even harder to stay like, yeah, I don't know if they're going to even win the division. No, they're going to win their division. But oh boy, I'm really waffling on that. That's tough. because Alec Pierce, hasn't started doing any off-season stuff yet. Shaheed is like a best ball darling, but this isn't best ball. I still like Khalil Shakir. I mean, for a ninth, it's good value. For a guy who could still, reel in 90 receptions if they throw the ball to him enough. I know they brought in DJ Moore, and he's probably going to take a good number of the targets, but DJ Moore also just doesn't he looked. The Bears didn't like him last year. They just went out of their way to not throw the ball to him, and then had him, taking carries out of the backfield and doing little dump offs like that. Like, why did the Bears all of a sudden not like him? I mean, I guess Ben Johnson maybe just all of a sudden didn't like him, or thought he was, thought Ben Johnson thinks he's smarter than everybody else. Maybe. I mean, he clearly was really hyped up coming into that first year. Yeah, no, I'm gonna stick with Stafford. If I was Phil, I'd be picking Stafford as my keeper. So there's that. I went through all those teams. We're gonna go through the list of wrestlers one more time, and I will pester Phil again, if not tonight, probably tonight and tomorrow. But yeah, so we got the women's up here. Alexa Bliss, Alundra Blaze from 91 or 94. Asuka, Bailey, Becky Lynch, Bianca Belair, Bull Nakano, Charlotte Flair, China, Eve Torres, Io Sky, Jade Cargill, Kyrie Sane, Lita, Liv Morgan, Lyra Valkyria, Michelle McCool, overrated, Molly Holly, Naomi Natalia, Nia Jax, Raquel Rodriguez, Rhea Ripley, Roxanne Perez. I spelled it Roxana. I apologize. Shayna Baszler, Stephanie Vaquer, Tiffany Stratton, Trish Stratus, and Victoria. So we're each going to get one of them. We're each going to get one of these guys. The elite tier male wrestlers, rated 89 and up. And Batista, Bray, Bret Hart, San Martino, CM Punk, Cody, Demon, McIntyre, Dusty, Eddie, Gunther, Hollywood, JBL, Jey Uso, John Cena. No, I was no way in hell going to put. I have the 100 rated version of John Cena. Yeah, I have the 100 rated version of John Cena on that game. No, not an option. That's stupid. You can put him in a match with 3 guys and he's going to win 4 out of 5 times. Like, it's stupid. Even like you put him in a match with some of these higher rated guys and just cleans the floor with them almost every time. So Cena, Kurt Angle, Logan Paul, which I'll just say right now, if you pick Logan Paul, you get to start every week of the season with minus 10 points because Logan Paul is a bum. He's a joke, in my opinion. That's fine. If Sean wants to start with take Logan Paul and start with minus 10 points every week of the season, that's fine. Going to have a real hard time winning. Whoever does that. I don't think I'm really going to do that. I'm not that much of an ass, but we'll see. Macho Man, Mark Henry, Orton, RVD, The Rock, Roman, Seth freaking Rollins, HBK, Sid Justice, Stone Cold, Billy Graham, Triple H, Ultimate Warrior, and The Undertaker rounds out the top tier male list. Mid-tier male list, my personal favorite list. I love so many names on this list. I'm going to have such a hard time picking. I just hope most of the guys I want get picked by somebody else, so maybe it's a little bit easier for me. But I think this is actually going to be the most fun, we don't know who's going to win, obviously, because we got, the lowest rating is 82 and the highest rating is 85. So, and yeah, when I did, oh, good. Yeah. No, don't you come in here with that dirty words. No, you're not allowed to say he's not that bad of a wrestler. I mean, I'll say this. He's not as bad as he was. He still doesn't deserve to be there, in my opinion. Just because you paid money to put your drink at ringside. And the company's like, oh, yay, we like that. We could let you. Yeah, not going to get into it right now. We're talking fantasy football, and I'm just going through the list. So, Abyss, AJ Styles, Andrade, Badass Billy Gunn, Booker T, British Bulldog, Bronson, Bubba, Cactus, D'Lo, Devon, DDP, Dirty Dom, El Grande Americano, Farouk, Harley Race, Iron Sheik, Jake the Snake, Jesse Ventura, Jimmy Uso, the Junkyard Dog, Mr. Perfect, Penta, Ravishing Rick Rude, the Road Dog, Roddy Piper, Scott Steiner, Tomatonga, Undashing Cody Rhodes, and Wade Barrett. So yeah, somebody like right off the bat, if Phil really wanted to, he could have each of the Usos. He could take Jimmy in the elite or Jay in the elite tier, Jimmy in the mid tier, and whoever he wants for his girl. Or he could go Cody in the top tier and Cody in the mid tier. That's fine. You could do what you want. It's like, he's going to get first pick out of all these guys. And like I said, this is the list that I am having the most trouble with figuring out who I want. I know one person I'm not going to get. Amy wants one person in particular off this list. I'm not going to say who it is, but she gets to pick before me, so I know I'm not getting that guy. But yeah, there's so many guys. Like I could throw down. I'd throw down with El Grande Americano, Wade Barrett. Sean says he wants Scotty Steiner. No, that's probably an option. Probably going to be there for you. Abyss, Booker T, British Bulldog. Yeah, either of the Dudleys. D'Lo, one of my favorites of all time. I mean, those are a few of the guys that I'm pitching it back and forth around. But that's we've gone through. So let's just hop back down. It's just me on the camera as I wrap this up. So hopefully this will be regular thing. I don't know if it's just going to be every Sunday, if it's just going to be a random day of the week. It's probably going to be a Sunday or a Monday thing. And when weather permitting, I will do it outside like this because it's July and it's not stupid, sweaty, hot out. It's not, there's a few clouds in the sky. I'd like a few more personally, but also at this time of the day, I don't have to worry about sun because it's over there and there's an entire building blocking it for me. So awesome. So hopefully this will be a regular thing. And it'll, like I said, it'll be Sunday or Monday, probably going forward. Might just, well, like I said, I don't know. Just pay attention. Watch. Keep checking. I'll keep trying to remember to post it in there. Otherwise, go ahead and just subscribe to my channel and then turn on the notifications. And then every time I go live, you'll see it. As this evolves, obviously I'll start, zhuzhing it up a little bit. Starting maybe I'll have some graphics. I'll have maybe some sounders, maybe a little entrance theme to put in there, whatever. I've got some people that I know who do stuff like that. I'm gonna if I decide to start doing that, I will go to them first because I know they do good work. They've done work for me in the past on other podcasts, on other websites and whatnot. And so those are the guys I would lean to first. But it's going to start just talking about our league for the most part. I'll throw in some anecdotes here and there, my opinions on different guys like this and that. Obviously, I'll almost for sure be live every time because I like doing it live. And obviously, this last season I was doing a live Monday show at the FF Face Off. So I know I've talked to them, and they're talking. We're figuring out where I'm going to fit in there. I'd be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised if it's just Mondays again, which is totally cool. I love throwing down on that. Which would then put a wrench in me doing this on Mondays. But like I said, we'll figure it out. And this is an evolving product. It's going to be mostly about our stuff, our league. And we'll just see where it goes from there. You're always all of you welcome to jump into the live chat, watch live. You can watch it later and see what you missed. Hopefully, I won't necessarily go or just up to 54 minutes total. It's good talk. It's good times. It's fun, and I enjoy doing it. And plus, this is easier than me trying to write something out and post it into a format like I used to that does not accept it very well. Which kind of a blessing in disguise. Yahoo got rid of that. But in the meantime, thanks, Sean, for watching, commenting, liking. If anybody else comes back and watches this later, please hit the like, subscribe. Then turn on the notifications. And every time I go live, you'll know. Every time I post something, you'll know. Until next time, I'm gonna make sure to start bugging people about making their wrestling picks too. I'm not gonna do the gritty. No, I'm too old to do the gritty. I'm not going to do the gritty. And yeah, no greedy. That's Jefferson's thing. That's Jet's thing. But I'm gonna cut this off. We're 55 minutes in, and my drink's almost empty, so I need one of those. But yeah, pay attention, keep watching, like, subscribe, notification. I'll see you guys next time. And boom.